Most people picture high intelligence wrong. The research shows something different. The behaviors most consistently observed in people with very high IQs don't look like intelligence at all. Some look like the opposite. What cognitive psychologists have found over decades is that a very high IQ doesn't just make someone smarter, it fundamentally reshapes how that person experiences the world. Here are psychological traits research reliably finds in people with exceptionally high IQs. Trait 1. They spend significant time alone. High IQ individuals genuinely prefer solitude, not because they dislike people, but because their minds need it. The prefrontal cortex operates most efficiently in low distraction environments. For a highly intelligent brain, time alone isn't emptiness, it's fuel. Research from the London School of Economics found that highly intelligent people report lower life satisfaction from frequent socializing than those with average IQs. Their brains restore through stillness, not social connection. Social interaction is cognitively demanding in a way that eventually requires recovery. Trait 2. Their minds never fully switch off. People with very high IQs commonly report that their thinking doesn't stop, not during rest, not at night, not during activities most people find genuinely relaxing. There's always a background thread running, working through a problem, revisiting a conversation, simulating scenarios that haven't happened yet. Psychologist Kazimierz Dabrowski called this psychomotor overexcitability a restless inner energy with no natural off switch. Neuroscientist Rex Young found that higher intelligence is tied to richer connectivity between distant brain regions. The highly intelligent brain doesn't just think faster, it draws connections across a wider network, continuously. That's what makes genuine rest difficult. Trait 3. They feel things more deeply than they show. The assumption that high intelligence comes with emotional distance is wrong. Research shows people with significantly elevated IQs experience emotions with greater intensity than average, not less. Dabrowski identified this as emotional overexcitability, heightened sensitivity to beauty, music, injustice, and the suffering of others. A study in the journal Intelligence found higher IQ correlates with greater emotional reactivity, particularly in response to art, ethical questions, and human behavior. The reason this goes unnoticed, highly intelligent people are also exceptionally skilled at concealing what they feel. Trait 4. They're genuinely comfortable saying, I don't know. High IQ individuals are far more willing to acknowledge the limits of their knowledge than people with average IQs, and they mean it. This connects to the Dunning-Kruger effect. Lower competence often produces overconfidence because the person can't see the complexity that exists within a domain. Highly intelligent people have thought deeply enough to know how much is genuinely unknown. When a high IQ person says, I don't know, it isn't hesitation, it's precision. The person who holds every opinion with absolute certainty is almost never the sharpest thinker in the room. Trait 5. They struggle to find intellectual equals. High IQ individuals find it genuinely difficult to connect with others intellectually. Not because they feel superior, but because conversations that don't go deep enough leave them unstimulated. Psychologist Letta Hollingworth called this stimulus poverty, the experience of a mind that can't find sufficient challenge in its environment. The result, highly intelligent people often seem aloof or withdrawn. Not because they lack social ability, but because experience has taught them most conversations can't sustain the depth they need. So they hold back, scale themselves down, and much of who they actually are never fully enters the room. Closing all of these traits are consistently misread. The person who needs solitude looks antisocial. The one whose mind never stops looks anxious. The one who feels deeply looks fragile. The one who questions themselves looks uncertain. The one who never quite fits looks difficult. But sometimes what appears to be a collection of quiet struggles is something very precise, a mind built to process more, connect more, and reach further than most of the environments it moves through. A very high IQ isn't simply about knowing more or thinking faster. It's about encountering the full complexity of the world with very little insulation between you and it. That more than any score is what makes it both the most powerful and most demanding thing a person can carry. If this video described you, leave a comment with the trait that felt most true. I read every single one. Share it with someone who might need to hear it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.